Hey, thanks everybody. Again, I want to reiterate thanking Biscoyo for sponsoring the virtual Christmas light, virtual Christmas summit. Excuse me. We ran out of time. Apologize. I was taking down the other display, answering some questions as we were doing it. All of a sudden, it was 1 o'clock. So my apologies. I totally lost that. I am still setting up for the Mattos mini tree build. It is actually designed off of Billy's mini tree. So I'm going to finish putting some things on the table, getting everything all ready to go. I put this together Friday night, and I've done a lot of stuff in the garage since then. So I need to kind of look for where I put everything, get everything all here, and then we'll start putting stuff together. I do apologize that I don't have my Bluetooth in, so I am going to speak. I speak loud anyways, blame that on the hearing. But if for any time I get too noisy or not loud enough, please let Keith know or one of the co-hosts know in the chat, and they can ask me to speak up or tone it down a little bit. So give me like 2 minutes and I will be getting stuff ready. If there is any questions about it, no, this is not on the website yet. This is brand spanking new. I just got it Thursday. I did have to go to Ace Hardware and get some parts that didn't show up. So I did kind of piece this together Friday night, and this is what I came up with. I like it a lot. I'm going to probably get 7 more of them and swap out my existing mini trees for these because I really do like the design. I like how easy they break down. And I know for a lot of people, the storage, they don't have a whole lot of it or whatever the case may be. They don't want to store it outside or whatnot, and they're running out of room in the garage. Breaks down basically to how I'm going to have it laying out here on the table. This is going to be a 12 by 50 tree or 25 if you prefer. I didn't push any pixels in because the only ones I have are special order with the longer extensions or longer in between for another project. And I didn't want to push them in strips that I'll be pulling them right back out of. So I do apologize for that. I have probably a couple thousand squares laying around that I could have probably mismatched just to throw them in there. But I figured for this, we can just visualize that. We're all smart people. We can visualize the pixels being in there. So give me 2 minutes. Let me get the rest of stuff set up. Keith, if you want to entertain them or whatever, or if there's any questions, I should be able to hear you as I'm getting this stuff.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to the VCS 2021. This is sponsored by Boscoyo Studios. This presentation is sponsored by Gilbert Engineering. And this is Brian McVeigh showing us the Mattos Designs mini tree build. This is not available, like he said, yet, but it will be on Mattos Designs website. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm back. So this is basically everything. If you order the kit through Mattos, I'm not 100% sure of everything that's going to come with it. We're still putting that together. What I did is I went and got some all thread or threaded rod, what some people call it. I got a 6-foot stick. Yes, that is too long. It's only 5/16, so it's easy enough to buzz off on the top or on the bottom, however you want to build your mini tree. The base piece, this is 22 inches. This is your base. It's 22 or 44 holes. If you're using 360, it's 44. If you're using just the 180, you can use 22. I'm going to use 12. So I thought the 12 looked the best for me. The copper, make sure I get that right. Here's the topper for it. These holes are really close together. We're working on that. It might be a little bit bigger. This is a prototype, so that's why he sent it to me to give it a shot, try it, see what's going to happen. I did put the collars in here. I did wedge those in Friday night on the top and the bottom. It is a 3/4 inch hole, so you can, I believe, you have checked the OD on 1/2 inch EMT or maybe black pipe. I'm not sure exactly. I wanted to use all thread because I wanted to have the adjustability to go up and down as I built the tree for whatever I needed to do. I'm using 3/4 EMT as my center pole going through with the all threaded rod going through it. So I did take some 5/16, and this is just PVC on the bottom. But this kit you can do, there is holes on the base where you can stand it up off the ground. For my weather that I have up here, plus I bought some eyelets for it as well, some eye bolts. I am going to elevate it up off the ground because of the snow, whatnot. Plus I wanted something to be able to hook straps to. Just like all my other stuff out there, every single thing I have is strapped down or it's hammered into the ground one way or another. Even my control boxes, except for one, and it's tipped over on its side right now. So I am going to work from the side, probably from the back. We'll probably move this up a little bit. Keith, if the glare is too bright from the additional lights, we can always turn them or turn them down. Let us know. And Keith, is there any questions thus far? I would call it a medium, mini medium. Let's call it the M&M. You can do pretty much whatever height you want to do. If you wanted to do a 2 foot, 2 foot by 2 foot or 22-inch tree, you could do a mini tree at 10 pixels high. 2-inch spacing, that would give you 20 inches in height. So let's say 24 after the space. Or you could go as high as, I'm doing 50 pixels, 1-inch spacing. So that's going to be a little over foot and a half, or 4 foot and a half, 4.5 foot. There we go. Geez. So you could do, it is so user-friendly, it's crazy. And I'll demonstrate that. I'll show you that as we're kind of progressing along. Whatever height you want to make it, I wouldn't do a mini mega tree out of it. So I wouldn't go 100 pixels high or anything like that. But anything less than that.
Is there an ETA on when this will be available?
Because it's the prototype, I would say give us a few weeks, if not a month, to get the final design down 100%, but it's going to be very, very similar to what you're seeing right now. The topper might be the only issue. Yep. Sweet. Okay. I did them the other way when I did this Friday night. So what I have is my eye bolts on the top side. This is the bottom that I'm working on right now. 5/16 by, I believe they were 1 inch, maybe 2-inch eye bolts. And that's basically to give me something to bite into for my straps. And with the coupler that I'm putting on, that gives me my legs so I can bolt my legs onto it.
Is the base and topper aluminum?
They are 6160 aluminum. That's why I say they're brand new. We're doing that for weight. They're still just as rigid. So yes, 6160 aluminum. We'll let those go over there. If you could keep a real close watch on that clock, because I'm sure nobody wants to be late to get back into the main room for the raffle drawings, myself. So if you want to keep a very close eye on time. And again, I want to thank Ben. Ben, short story, is actually the first Montanan to have a pixel light show up here in Montana. He's down in Helena. You can definitely check out his Facebook page down there. Or do you want to shout it out?
We can Holiday Lights.
Volkanich Holiday Lights. Ben Volkanich, he's an awesome, super awesome guy. He offered to come help me out with this, be my camera guy and stuff. So since we were working on a few different angles and whatnot, we wanted to try to give you the best experience possible.
Are you going over there now?
I'm going to move over. I guess I didn't really need the table to start with. We'll blame that. I'm starting to. Oh, got too close to the.
Oh, yeah. You can bring that back over this way.
We'll blame that on my mission that I had to go on yesterday afternoon. So again, this bushing, the bushing is something that I added. I really need to take a deep breath. I'm worried that I'm not going to have time to get this done because of the end of day stuff that we got. These are getting away again. Okay. Cool. Appreciate that. Again, when you're working with raw steel and cut off EMT, please be extremely careful of the sharp edges. Use your PPE. I'm no good at it. That's why I have ringing in my ears from years of operating heavy equipment. Don't forget your topper.
You have it together, I would have reminded you.
I was wondering why I had some extra threads on at the end. Okay. So there's basically the framework of your mega tree. And then after that, it's just basically put your pixels on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There are going to be some options for how you want to mount the pixel strips to the base. What I'm using for the top are carabiners. These are the cheapest ones I could find. They're, I don't know, at Ace Hardware. And all I did was paint them black just so they weren't pink and green and yellow and silver and all that. I did paint them green or black. And then I use eyelets on all of my strips, my 100 pixel tree, the 75, the 15. They all have either the MSIRP, I say that right? MISRP? Miser. I either have them on the old strips that I still have from 3 years ago. And then the new strips, I use these eyelets.
So there is a question, can the feet be adjusted for an uneven ground? And as well, are the long feet designed to go down into the ground or elevate the base? I think those are kind of the two.
Question. Yeah, first question. Oh, heck yeah. Whatever you want to cut the all thread to, or the threaded rod to. If you have a 5% slope, what is that? 5 inches at 1 foot, I think is 5, whatever the slope, whatever you have is what you cut your feet to. All you're wanting to do is make sure that base is level. So whatever the feet, if they go into the ground, what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to cut bigger planks to use as my feet. PVC, it's the heck is, I have it around here somewhere. It's anyways, it's the 5.5 inch plank. I believe it's 1 inch thick is what I'm actually going to use for it. But I am going to have the threads going through it, so it actually does go into the ground. But that's what the eye bolts are for as well, is to do my anchors around it for 4 points of contact with the ground as well. So technically you'll have 8 points of contact. So, and I use cargo straps for everything that I have. And I think I said this, maybe it was in the earlier video. Everything I have outside is either in concrete buckets of one way or another that are also strapped down to the ground with anchor points, or they're actually concreted into the ground because of the weather that I have up here in Montana. So does that answer your question? Sorry, I get long-winded. Are you sure? Oh, I love you. Okay, I thought this was going to go right up until we went to the next one. Yes. How many people do I have? No, I'll just. Oh, well, hi everybody.
235.
Thanks for joining me.
Uh-oh, battery power 5%.
Oh, geez. Okay, we gotta move on the fly. And is yours? Oh, you passed it the wrong way. Okay, we may lose feed. We might be all right. I had to plug my phone in. Sorry, it's been on for the last 2.5 hours. So we'll go here. And if you want to just kill yours, we'll save it in case we need it as a backup. So okay. Okay, that's all right. This is like a super easy setup. So a show of hands, or if you want to put your hand up or comment in the comments, who's new or wanting to do some medium or small mini trees similar to this?
I also want to ask a question too. Is the while those answers are being fulfilled in chat, is the plane? Sorry, is the plan for the kit to just be the top and bottom plate?
I'm going to say no if I know JR as well as I do. I'm going to say a definite no because there was supposed to be another box coming to me. Being up here in Montana, it didn't make it, which is normal for my mail service because I am out in the country. So it'll probably be here Monday. So I'm going to say no, but I cannot say 100% what everything is going to be in the kit. Excellent question. Keith, you know what that means? Wink. So yeah, excellent question though. More to come on that. I would say keep an eye on the Facebook page, the Mattos Designs Facebook page, for updates on the mini tree and some other stuff.
So I counted a total of 5 people that raised their hands, or well, 4 hands up and 1 thumbs up.
I'm sorry, say that again. I was counting.
It's quite all right. You had 5 people that said that they were new. That answered your question.
Awesome. Well, thank you and you're coming into a very exciting hobby. I absolutely love it. It's a borderline obsession, but we'll say passion. For me, everything I do is basically involved around holiday lighting. So it's a good time. I love it. I'll be right back. I got to get some support strips and zip ties.
Yeah, somebody just said, you don't have to answer this, Brian, but somebody just said I got his spiral tree last year and I love it. I love them. Yeah, Dave actually, who's the co-host right now, he did a presentation on their spiral trees, and yes, they're quite incredible. There will also be a newer spiral tree coming out that is even bigger.
Yeah,
7 foot. Oh, and I did get word last night that 7 foot spiral tree is going to have 200 lights on it.
Another person said, I was looking into the medium tree from Mattos, 20 strips of 50 pixels. So this was somebody that's a new person this year, I believe.
Awesome. Yeah, and that kit comes with the 4-foot hoop. That's actually technically the medium set, and it will be on the site. It is going to have a new topper for it, and that's the reason why it's not on the website right now, but it will be very shortly. And I am just using zip, not those. Let me go grab. These are, I'm going to say dollar store to respect the company where I got them from, but they were very inexpensive. Hey, Chuck.
That's a really good question. So will this topper not have J-hook options?
Brian, the question is, will this topper not have J-hook options?
Excuse me. If everything goes right, you won't need the J-hook option. If you want to read into that just a little bit, not too much, but possibility you won't need them anymore unless you want to use on the bottom as tensioners with the 2.5-inch threads. But for the topper, you may not need them. I know that's not answering your question. But right now we have, JR has a ton of stuff coming out. We've just been delayed. 2021 has just been an absolute nightmare with a bunch of stuff. We have a new lead fabricator coming in May, and he is going to start cranking out a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff already on order. They've been contacted, let them know there's a delay. Are they okay with that to make sure? So more to come. Can we try something? Can we kill that light?
Yeah.
Is that going to interfere with? Okay. Does that make me too dark?
It's a little shadowy, but
No, you're good. I think it. Yeah,
If it's not, we can move it over more to the backside just so I'm not staring at the light when I talk to you guys, because I do like talking to people. So
something like that. Yeah.
What do you think the maximum height could be? I'm also new.
it all depends on your support in the middle. Because of course, the higher you go, the more lights, the heavier. My initial that I wanted to do with this was actually square aluminum tubing, 6160. I think would have worked real well. I didn't make it over to my supply because I was working on something else. My steel and pipe supply.
So you're kind of pulling it to the side. I'm wondering if you wouldn't want to go on the other side. And
I'm going tighter than what I wanted to
yeah.
at the start. I might flip those off. Oh, wait.
Sorry, I should have mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, it all depends on your center post. That's your bread and butter. Just like Ben was just telling me, you're starting to pull it over one side or the other. But that's your bread and butter. That's the main, what's holding everything. So
We're about 180. Could you do a 180 tree with this setup?
I am going to do a 180 setup, but I am also going to put a couple strips in the back as some support strips, so the tree isn't front head.
Without fixing.
Yeah, because this is without pixels. So. Oh, And I wasn't skipping a hole at the bottom. How the heck did I cut myself? Yeah, let's leave the first one and cut the other 4. Because I forgot to skip a hole. Anyway, you know. That's where the tension was. Yeah, this is like the last bit of that I had out of the roll. So it's the most, and it hasn't been warm enough to straighten out much. Keith, everybody just watching or any questions, anything coming to mind for them?
No recent questions. Everyone's just wanting to give you a lot of support. You're doing great. Just to let you know, you have lots of time. So everyone's really enjoying this.
You know what? Don't do any more of that. We may need to adjust one hole. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I might be off a hole. You skipped 2. So we'll see how we're looking here. Those 2. Yep, we're good here. So we'll just move down. You want to go ahead and put a couple on the back? Yeah.
So here's a question. Does the topper have holes to for attaching guy wires? He may have missed that question if you've already answered it.
Technically, it does not. It does have a hole on the very back for your pigtail for your star topper to go through, so you can keep it close. You don't have to wrap it around the aluminum. And it does have a hole for the topper itself. What I've done in the past on my other toppers is I just use an additional 3 J hooks to do my guy wires off of it. This one does not have it, but it's 6160 aluminum. Should be easy enough to drill. Did I miss one? I missed one. Easy enough to drill through and put a J bolt in there and run your guy wires off of it. Or you could come all the way up here to the top with a collar and do the same thing. For me, I'm going to use the holes that I'm not using because I'm only using a 183. So I will use those.
So at this point, you're just loosely, I'm kind of helping you describe it. So this is also a question. At this point, you are just loosely attaching the strips and then tightening once you are done, correct?
Yeah, I'll go around and snug everything up as I go around. Now, granted, I'm not going to have it super tight because it's not heavy. It's super light. So I'm not going to crank everything down on it like I would if it was outside with pixels, but I will snug it up so you can have a good idea of what it would look like. Yes. Oh, and I just need to adjust that side over there. Pretty good.
missing here, but because we had just that one.
Oh,
There wasn't a hole here.
okay.
Unless we want to move those over.
Yeah.
They get the idea.
Of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't get too close to it because, well, we could bring that over, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
Because
I'll
we're
bring the
tethered by
topper
the
over
cord.
because we're plugged in for my phone. Because this is killing the battery, so we're plugged in. We only have about 5 feet that we can play with.
Yeah, especially with your shot yesterday.
Now, typically, on all my trees outside, I had 3 mega trees. Basically a 16 by 50 tree that I laid on the ground as a tunnel. All of them on the bottom, I have always used bungee balls, and I can grab a couple if you don't know what I'm talking about and describe it to you. That's what I use on the bottom to go around my base ring. Whatever I'm using, that is my preference for hooking up on the bottom. Okay, so Keith, let me know how I'm doing. But this is basically the topper. So if you wanted to use this hole here for a top star, whatever prop you want to put on the top of it, this hole here is for your pigtail to slip through. It'll fit any pigtail. You can slip down, and that's so you can keep your wire zip tie here, zip tie on the bottom to keep it away from the edges. And then you can run it down the pole. It's not coming all the way out and around the diameter of the topper there. So, and it's it's only about 5.
Well, the pixels will make it a lot heavier.
Yeah, it's only about 5 pounds, if that, without the pixels. Now, when you add the pixels, of course, that's going to add a whole lot more depending on how many pixels you want to go. Pixels are probably going to be the heaviest part of the project. Would probably be the pixels. Again, with the guy wiring, You could come off the top. You could even do a double nut up here with a collar and have your tie-ins up here. If you're going to use the front hole as your tree topper mount, then you can obviously use this as a tie down point with double nut and a couple washers. You could even use carabiner clips to hook your guy wires too. Or you can use the holes that you're not using. So this is a 12. And I don't have anything snugged up yet, so the spacing's off a little bit. Once I get it outside, get it mounted down, get it firm on the ground, leveled out the base. Then I have a magnet metal that I use, or a magnet level that I use on the inside. I'll put that on there and kind of rotate it around as I'm tightening down the top to make sure it's going straight up and down all the way through. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. I have 15 minutes to go for questioning. Does anybody else have any questions?
So at this point, we'll open up the floor. If you guys want to unmute yourself, you can ask the question. There is some questions in the chat, but maybe I know K-Bear has a mic, so if he wants to ask that.
Thanks, Keith. Did you use those square eyelets on the strips, or would you recommend that on those strips, or is that not long enough? Or and since you have an extra hour, why don't you teach us how to push the pixels in when you have the tree already built?
You know what? I don't want to put anybody to shame when I push pixels in, because I just use my bare hands. And oh my gosh, Tim Biggs's channel, Pixel channel. And when I push my pixels in, I go away, push down, and come toward me. I use one for each hand, my fingers. So I'll probably get teased about that because I don't use a special tool. I found my wrench. I was looking for my half-inch. It's in my pocket. But yeah. So yeah, I would take them down. The square eyelets, I recommend them on any tree. If you're going to put any kind of tension, this HDPE. Oh shoot, did I say that right? Is that right? I think it's HDPE from Boscoyo, the strips. It is super strong stuff. I love it. But when you have just a small center point of where it's being pulled on the very top, it does put a lot of stress on that, and they will snap. I've seen it on Facebook and a couple of the groups, people commenting on that. I put these eyelets on. Mattos Designs has them on the website. The square eyelets, I use the puncher and everything. Set it up. I did a video on it on the Mattos Designs Facebook page. If you want to scroll back, I believe last fall, I did a quick video on it. I do ream the hole out just to make life easier for me. Ream it out real quick, put the square piece in, set it down on the board, put the top ring on, smack it about 3 or 4 times with a hammer, and you're golden. And for what they would cause issues during the season, if it would have ripped out, December 24th, it's a lifesaver, because then you're pulling the entire tree down, especially if it was up on top. It's where you're more than likely going to rip it out from, would be the top. It saves you so much headache. An extra 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to do it per strip, well worth it. 100%.
All right, so now I'm confused. Are we talking about the round brass grommets or the miser clips, or is there something else?
These are the ones that I use. These are the ones that I use. They're the square ones. They're black. That's how they come from Mattos Designs. The eyelet protectors, basically. Those are the ones that I use. I have a few hundred out in the yard because my display is still 2/3 up out there. But these are ones I use top and bottom of every strip. So, and you can find those on Mattos Designs webpage.
I dropped a link in the chat to those eyelets.
Thanks, sir.
I use the heck out of them. I absolutely love them. And even before them, I did use the miser clips on the old style pixel strips that I still have for another project that I still might do. I don't use the eyelets on these. I use the miser clips on them because they have the 3 holes to zip tie, and I got a few thousand of those tiny zip ties because of my project last year. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Can you make this any size you want?
Yes. It is totally up to the user. You can, it all depends on your center post. How high do you want to have your center post? If you want to do like this is 50 pixels or 50 holes, I'm going to just say holes. And I add 1 hole extra for the top and bottom. So it's 52 holes, 52 inches. That's what this is. And then plus you have what I have it off the ground, which is about 16 inches. So however you want it to be is what you make this center pole be. You could cut it down, set it up. Not good enough, grab another piece of EMT or whatever you're going to use for a center pole, make it a little bit higher. I actually started with the square tubing that I just used in my earlier class as my square tubing, steel tubing, that I was going to use for my center pole. It was too short for what I wanted to do the pixels for. So that's why I went with the galvanized, because I have a few sticks of it over in the corner. So it's whatever you want it to be. Short answer. I love long answers. Sorry. Keith, is Bobby on? I got my coffee cup.
Yeah, Bobby's on. He actually asked the question for you. Let me try to bring it
Oh.
up here.
Am I blocking anything? I'm so thirsty.
Do you provide a setup service, Brian? That was Bobby for you.
You order it, and I have no time. And matter of fact, I have 6 or 8 people. I think I've lost track. I got to check my notebook. I have about 6 or 8 people that I'm helping personally right now. With what I know, if I don't know the right answer, I'll go find it. But you order it, say, hey, I need some help setting this up. What do you suggest? By all means, I'm there. I know Bobby knows the email, but it is support@mattos.com. You can shoot me an email. Hey, just like last fall, I got questions on the spiral tree because they didn't know they had to have a base with it, and it kept falling over on them. We got together through email, gave him my phone number, called me. We did a video call, and I talked him through what I would do for that, because I love building stuff. You know, the technical part of it, that's all Keith. He's a genius. He's the smartest man I know. But building the stuff is what I like to do. And that's where I would rather do it, is be out here in the garage. It started out this morning at 36. I think it's warmed up.
Oh,
not
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
It's at least 38 now.
So yeah, it's not bad, but that's what I love doing, is building, and I love helping people. It's just what I love doing. So, and even if you buy from us or not, a lot of guys that I'm helping right now aren't planning on buying anything from us, and that's fine. I just love helping out. So it's for the hobby, it's supporting the hobby. And that's why Keith is writing down names for the good questions, because we do want to send 4 of these off to for people that want them. So we're giving 4 of them away. Keith's writing names down for the good questions, and we're going to do a little lottery. Whoever wins, I will get in contact with you either through Facebook or email. And we'll get 4 of these. Once they're finalized, you're not going to get the prototype, but once they're finalized, you will get 1 each. So
I'll take one.
who
Hey,
is that?
Brian, how you doing? It's James.
Here comes all the questions. Here we go.
That's good.
Going to get
This
those
is why
questions
I
now.
wanted to finish early.
I want one.
Available
And James, you're already on my messenger, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I thought I recognized the voice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You and I, we've done some conversations already, and now after seeing the spiral tree build from yesterday, we got more to talk about. So
Give me a few days, because I do have a project that I got to actually start working on tonight for something else that's going to take quite a bit of my time up for the next few days. So, and late nights, I do have to get that done. as a promise to somebody. So give me a few days and we'll definitely talk. Did I show you how easy this took apart and put together to store on a shelf, James?
What? Yeah, yeah. I need. I definitely need storage there. That needs to just like collapse, like right where it is.
It does. It all lays down. The longest piece is the alt thread, and that's it. Everything will lay flat on the shelf for you. Your pixels, you wind up, throw them in the trash barrel like I do, coil them up, put them in there. You're good.
Cool.
Any other questions?
So send me one.
We'll see.
Yeah, there's quite a few questions. I was trying to. Wow.
I'm
Hang
sorry.
on.
I'm sorry.
Okay, some of these might be jokes. I have to read through these.
If it's Bobby, just disregard.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
And Chris.
Do you ship to Canada?
Yes. We try to give as much break as we can because we know there's tariffs, but we will ship to Canada.
So this question was already answered, but I think it's a good one to bring up again. What will come in the kit? Top and bottom? Topper and bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
More to come on that. Keep an eye on the Facebook page because, like I said, prototype. There's another box that's coming up here that's not here yet. So I don't know what's in that box. So I don't know exactly 100% what's going to be in the box when it gets here. Once we have the BMT, Billy's mini tree, on the website, it will have everything listed on there and a whole 9 yards. So
this is Matt P. He was asking, do you do straps on bottom and guy wires on top? Question mark.
Oh, that's a good question. I do use straps, cargo straps on all my bases. And I don't use wire. I love paracord. With my career that I had, I was very involved with paracord through that. That is my favorite because it gives you the rigidity of wire, but still a little bit of flexibility that something won't break. So, and
You have some that we can take a look at?
I have a few 100 feet of it. Let me.
I've never seen it.
Oh, hang on one second.
And Matt, who's speaking, was the one asking the question.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Didn't want to break in on him. He was on a roll.
Yeah, he was. And Ken, your question, I hope it was answered the last time when he addressed the kit. It sounds like they're just finalizing it and they'll have like probably that list of what else you would need to purchase. But it sounds like it might be a whole bundle possibly.
Okay, so this is paracord. It's got the nylon on the inside. You do have some stretch out of it. This is what I use on my 100-foot mega tree. Not 100 foot, geez. 100 pixel high. That'd be one heck of a
That'd be one heck of a tree.
100 pixel high at 200 or 2 inches spacing. But I use this. I have actually glow in the dark that I have at home from Home Depot. I only use it for 1 year because it is out in the weather. I don't trust it for 2 years. My old stuff that I did have that was green from somewhere, I have used longer than that, but this stuff from Home Depot, I do love it, but I only use it for 1 season. And it's, I think, $1.99, maybe $3.99 for 100 foot of it. And it's got all kinds of different colors. Next to my sidewalk, I use the glow in the dark ones. And I also have black and red. So, but you can find it in the ropes, chains.
Yeah, I know where it's at now.
Okay. Yeah.
Been to that aisle many times.
Yeah.
Love to screw in anchors.
As many of us. Yep, definitely.
Okay.
Brian, so what makes a good question?
I was getting to that
Not
one.
that one.
That one.
We want to be added.
I know that voice. And no. I'm just teasing.
How would you attach this to the ground?
I don't have any of my anchors in here. What I would actually do is take the pleats off of the bottom and just have straight all thread because I want to sink that all thread in the ground. I would probably do them 2 foot so I can go about 18 inches in the ground. And then my eye bolts, let me walk around because then I can close up and stuff. So, oh, I can't. All right. So the eye bolts here that I put on, they're not tight by no means. Sorry, wasn't even in camera. I did paint them black just because. Oh, that just messed you all up. There we go. Jordan will yell at me if I go into portrait, not landscape. So the eye bolts here is what I'm going to attach to, and that's going to go down to the straps that I have in the bottom, or anchored into the ground through here and then down. And I always come out about 2 or 3 feet, depending on how high I go, is how far I go out for anchoring. But then the feet at the bottom, of course, this is supposed to make it easier on the bottom so I could move it around, but it didn't really work out the way I hoped it would. So
hey, are those feet going to be adjustable, or can you pick the size, or are you just or is that the size, the length that they're going to come in?
those feet are your discretion. Okay, there we go. We back?
Yeah,
right.
you lost sharing. Yeah, you're back.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was putting the phone back. I should have never moved it. Are we okay? We're everybody's upright?
Yes.
Okay, those feet I added on mainly for setup. It can go straight on the ground. You can put whatever length legs you want on the bottom. The holes are provided. They're pre-drilled in the base for you to do whatever you want with them. You could put eye bolts in there and then just sink it straight in the ground. You could put a 5/16 nail through it, sink it straight in the ground. It's entirely whatever you want to do with the base. I did it to elevate it up off the ground because when I take it out to the yard, everything I have out in the yard is anywhere from, I'm going to say 8 to 12 inches off the ground. Lights wise, not props. They don't hover. The lights end up being anywhere from 8 to 12, 24 inches up off the ground because of the weather that I have up here, or the possible weather I could have.
So let me ask you, when you connect the center pole to the base, is there still room in the base? Like if I just wanted to put like some rebar in the ground there and just stick the base like right over top of the rebar? Is there room in the base for that to happen, or no? Or do you have to use the eye bolts?
Oh man, that was an excellent question. Well, I can't stick it in the base in the center because that's where I have my main all thread going through.
Okay. All right. So that takes that pretty much answers that then.
Yeah.
Because what I'd be looking to do would be to stick like maybe a 1/2 inch piece of rebar in the ground, and then just take this tree and just put it over top.
Slide it over the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just with how I'm doing it, I'd have to think on that because you could probably use couplers and have the base EMT coupler 2 or 3 foot long where you could slip it over your rebar and then smack that down into the ground a little bit further, depending on how high you want it. It's only a mini tree, but you'd have to run a separate coupler for that.
Yeah. Well, the mini tree I'm looking to do is like maybe 3 feet, maybe tall.
But here's what when you were putting this together, Brian, this might answer your question too. When you were putting this together, I'm looking at the stuff that's sticking out of the bottom. So you've got 4 legs there of all thread. What would happen if you took those little marshmallow things you have on there and just drive those straight into the ground?
Yeah, I've already mentioned that a few times.
Yeah.
I put the PVC plank on there that it's left over from me doing some hole cutting. They're my extra holes. All I did was drill them out 5/16 so I could slip on the all thread. You could easily take those off, and then now you have 4 points that you're smacking down into the ground, and you could do that at any height. I just put it on there one, so that you can see the legs, and two, I thought it'd be easier for me because I was going to countersink the nuts. They kept splitting on me when I was trying to do that, so I gave up on it, and I wanted it sitting on the
And-
PVC, not sitting on metal. PVC
Ah,
on
so-
concrete.
So yeah, so that would work even better then, because then you can just use the 4 points and without the white pieces on, and just push it straight down in the ground. So yeah, that would work even better.
Well, to address your question, James, is what I was thinking. Is you said that all threaded was 6 foot, right, Brian?
The center one, yes.
And 50, you're about 52 inches, so that makes it about 4.5 feet. So you got about an extra 8.5 feet of all thread.
Yeah, that could easily be on the bottom and slip slip it over that.
Exactly. Or
EMP. Yep.
no, just run the all thread through the bottom and just drive the all thread to the ground. Bam, there's your rebar, your support, especially
Yeah.
for a 3 foot tree.
Just,
Right off the bottom, you're done.
just like with a lot of stuff in this hobby, it can be done 10, 15, 20, 30 different ways. Some of them may fail, some of them may be excellent. Everything we do with this hobby can be done so many different ways. Your only limitation is the imagination. And I know that's a cliche, but it is 100% true with this hobby because, different people think different ways, and getting, like a brainstorm session, you're getting 30 or 4 different answers from 5 people how to do one thing. So, and that's the biggest thing about this hobby is you have that flexibility. You have the imagination of yourself or your friends, your buddies that are online and stuff to help you out with that, to visualize it and see it on what you're building and what you want to accomplish. It's just like the morning class with the snowflake tree. When I got talking to Simon Reed about that, I'm like, hey, I really like this idea. Can you show me more? He sent me some videos, sent me some pictures, and that's where I got my design, where I envisioned my design, where I wanted it to go, is from his original vision of it. So with this hobby, it can be done 100 different ways. You talk to 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different answers on how to do it. So, and that's one thing I love about it. So.
Okay, I have to do the closing really quick, and then we could get back to questions. I just need to go to my next obligation. So I'm gonna let you, Brian, take have the last word, and then I'm gonna do the outro.
Okay. Thanks everybody for joining. If you do have any more questions, comments, anything like that, hit me up on Facebook. PM me, anything like that. I'd love to help you out any way I can. Keith, thank you so much. I do want to thank Biscoyo for putting this on, and I know Keith is going to reiterate this. Biscoyo for sponsoring the entire project, and then Gilbert Engineering sponsoring this room for us. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Keith, and everybody for being here. Special thanks to Ben for helping me out behind the scenes. You guys have a wonderful day. Merry Christmas.
Okay,
Thanks,
so so really quick, I just got to do the intro and we'll get back to the questions. All right, so like Brian was just saying, thank you Boscoyo Studios for putting on the main sponsorship for this whole VCS 2021, and then again this whole event, or this whole room and this presentation was sponsored by Gilbert Engineering. Thank you, Brian, and everyone, and have a nice day. Thank you.